Hey, Bill Elliott here at Hanckel Marine, and we're at the Charleston Boat Show. So this is the kickoff of our season, and we're super excited. One of the biggest things that we're excited about is Sportsman's all-new 302 Open. So they just came out with the 30-foot boat. They had the 31, but now they've taken what they did on the 35-foot boat, their kind of big boat style, yacht style design, and they brought it down to a 32 and to a 30. And this is our first look at our 302. So Sam's, we're going to put a link somewhere on around the video on all the stats on the boat. But let's go up and check it out real quick before the show gets too crowded. Come on. So one of the first things and unique things that Sportsman's done on their 30s and above is they've obviously, dive doors or side boarding doors are kind of a trend, like everybody's doing it, and it completely makes sense. But Sportsman's the first ones that's standard. It's two. It's one on each side. So sometimes in a docking situation, you can't always put your port side to the dock. Starboard side also has the boarding door as well. They've also done the same thing on their fuel tank. So fuel tank, you have a single tank, but you have a fill on either side. So again, it's getting annoying. You're trying to get into a busy marina and current wind is messing you up. You don't have the ability to put one side of the boat to the dock. You don't have to. Dock the easiest, safest way you can, most comfortable for you and for everyone around you, and you can board fuel on both sides of the boat. Really pretty cool feature as far as just making it easier on the captain driving the boat around. One of the things that they've done is they, just like on the biggest, on the 35, two 30-gallon live wells, they got their, with the open, they almost always have the flip-up seat. It also flips down and gets out of your way. This boat will be powered with twin 300s, Yamahas, which take this boat, it tickles 60 pretty good. With 4 guys and a full tank of gas, I mean upper 50s. Yeah, so it's really, really efficient. The other big thing that Sportsman has done on their 30, 32, and 35 is giving you another access to the bilge. Like in all the opens, there's an access behind there, but this access here, 175 transducer, you got your fuel water separators, all this stuff that's most of your maintenance is right here up front and in your face. And I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this is actually, there's framing here. It's a pod, so that if you ever wanted to add Seakeeper down the road, the framing for Seakeeper is already built into the boat. So it's a super easy add for a dealer or a Seakeeper guys, because it's already framed in. It's built into every boat. So it's part of the stringer system, which is really nice features. As those Seakeepers are becoming more and more popular and more affordable. From a social aspect, like I said, you do have this seat here. This boat was equipped with a standard rear-facing seat. So I've got a nice area here. Sometimes this ride is a little bit easier on the body than sitting around the other way. But of course, bean bags are always the most comfortable. But I like this. And then you also have a little sink and bait prep station in the back of the leaning post. As we move up to the helm, this boat comes standard with a single 12. You can opt for a second 12, or you can upgrade to a single 17 or twin 17s. So you can get even more screens, which is nice because with the digital switching in the boat, see, just like on their 25s and up, all digital switching, just really clean dash, have it all nice and kind of big and in your face. Full new windshield on the boat with a door on the front, vent door on the front. Nice little place here for your keys, your phones, and everything else. There's even charging ports and USB ports in here. These have little drains so that if you do get it wet up there, it should drain right out. The nice big LeBrock seats. You have this is what's standard on this boat, and they actually have an option for an upgraded seat that's a 60/40, I think is what they call it. So you have just the captain's seat here, and then it kind of gets rid of this, and you get a larger seat here with one armrest instead of two. So if you got a little kid, it's mom's driving and dad's sitting over here navigating. You got the kids sitting in the middle. It's really comfortable for a family. Batteries for the boat are located right here. Again, Sportsman's always been great about giving you access to things that you do regular maintenance on, and it doesn't get much easier than that right there. It just pops right out, and all your batteries are right there in your face. Of course, on the helm, you got storage boxes wherever they can find a spot for sunscreen or your little stuff there. And of course, Optimus has the electronic, comes standard with Optimus power steering and everything else. This boat has the standard JL audio, which is the JL MM50, the Media Master 50. And then of course we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12. We got plenty of speakers, so the standard system gets it works for me and for my family. Some people a little younger or maybe older and hard of hearing like it a little bit louder. So there's always the upgrade system, which they put the M6 speakers in there, and it sounds really amazing. Let's move up to the inside the console. So as we move forward on the boat, got a nice big wide door. Put a mirror in there so that just in case the ladies need to look at themselves, get squared away. Obviously a sink with a freshwater wash down is all down here. And then if you don't always want to sit here and look at your toilet, you can just kind of put that lid down and put a cushion down if somebody needs to sit down here, to work on the electronics or whatever. You got in the floor rod storage. So every console should have a place to store your rods. You're gonna put your butts down right there and they'll be straight up. So that way they're not banging around, they're not hitting on the side of something. They're all protected right there in the middle. I have a boarding ladder right here. So there's 2 side doors that we've got in the boat. This just snaps into either side so that you can have a boarding ladder hanging over the side of the boat for those beaches or sandbar days. Somebody needs to go for a little swim, and so your boarding door or your swim ladder for the boarding doors is right there in the console. Additionally, as always, Sportsman gives you access to electronics. Massive door here. I've got the entire back of the console. Of course, as always with the 25s and up that have the digital switching, got my DCM right here. If I needed to turn a system on and my units were out, I can just move a fuse, turn on whatever system I want. So it's a great backup to not having switches on the dash. This has given a lot of customers that confidence that if some sort of problem happened with their Garmins and they didn't have access to switching, it's right here. You just move the fuse and you turn your systems on. They've done a great job of tying everything up. Everything's neat. It's all run. They actually measure their cables, so there's not like an end of a cable with a big ball that's zip tied together. Everything is the right length. Sportsman really does a top-notch job on their wiring. And then one of the last things that you'll notice in here, and maybe when we go around on the other side, is Sportsman actually gives you a really large window. This is pretty signature when you look at the boat from the starboard side. When we're on the outside, it's one large black panel, but it's a very large window for a 30-foot console. And I only highlight that because you really see it from the outside. They're big black panel glass on the outside, but that's what it's for. Let's move up front. All right, so we've moved up to the bow, which seems to be where everyone's starting to migrate to, especially now that sunshades are becoming so popular. It's an option from Sportsman. They install an extra set of rod holders on the bow to hold the forward poles, so that's a big benefit to a lot of guys who are fishermen, because you do get an extra set of rod holders on the bow. But this sunshade really opens up the bow of the boat. When it's time for lunch at the sandbar or something like that, everybody's not hiding from that hot summer sun under the T-top. They can actually spread out. They may actually sit up here and eat lunch in the middle of the day. So this is awesome. And obviously we've got the sun pad, and it's on the electric table. That is standard in the boat. There's switches right over here, and I can either raise that up to be a table, or I'm going to drop it all the way to the floor and open up the boat for fishing. if you'll notice too, they've really beefed up the backrests up here on the bow, so a nice big wide backrest. They're really comfortable, actually cradle a customer. And then one of the other things that I really like is the cushion is actually cut out so that you can open your box without having to remove the entire cushion. So this is something that they've really thought through well. They've done a great job on looking at those kind of little details like that. And just as with all the other opens, that's removable for fish days if you need to be able to get up and around the bow, move around the boat, or you need to get into there to run the windlass, watch your ropes come in and out, and that's just access down there to the windlass rope. We'll walk down this other side here. And this is what I was saying. You know, you really notice this boat running down the waterway when you see this big black panel on the starboard side of the boat. And then that takes us all the way back down to the back of the boat. It's really a neat boat. These guys, they're only building ordered boats at this point. I mean, the economy's been crazy, especially when it comes to boats. And if you need to get an order in for a boat, the sooner the better, because they're just getting further and further out. They're not building hardly any stock boats. They're only building customers' order boats because that's about all they can keep up with. So the 30, the 32, and the 35, you're going to be 8 months, 9 months, a year out on some of those models. So come down to the Charleston Boat Show, come check everything out, come walk on the boat, and come see me or any of the guys at Hanckel Marine. We'll try to get you hooked up. Hope to see you on the water.